Did you see the movie? Did you see the movie?
Man. This is America. Don't catch you slipping.
Hey, what's happening? Comedian person, me, Dave Peace. Today we're talking about Meet Joe Black, which came out in 1998, directed by Martin Brisk, who actually has some interesting movies on his catalog. He did Beverly Hills Cop with Eddie Murphy, Scent of a Woman, Al Pacino, this movie, and also Geely. Yeah, that one. With Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. He's probably the reason why they broke up, but I'm speculating.
It's turkey time.
Huh?
Gobble, gobble.
If you're not familiar with this movie, it's actually a remake of a 1934 movie called Death Takes a Vacation, which has essentially the same plot. This remake has Anthony Hopkins, which is just excellent. This is probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite Anthony Hopkins movies. He is phenomenal in it. It has Brad Pitt, and everybody loves Brad Pitt, especially late 90s Brad Pitt. It's interesting to see Brad Pitt play Death because in the 3-hour-long movie, yes, 3-hour long, as I'm watching it, I'm seeing almost an actor play a character multiple ways within 3 hours. Like, differently. Like, he has a Jamaican accent in one scene where we're like, why?
No be a sister, no devil, no dopey. Everything gonna be irie.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Def, why are we speaking Jamaican accent right now? Okay, like, are you about to go to Queens and speak with a New York accent? Do you go to Texas and be like, let's get more of those guns? Like, why? I'm watching a movie, and that was sort of a central theme where I was asking a lot of, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Spoiler alert, Def falls in love with a lady, and they bang. Like, for real. Like, he hits raw for 8 minutes. Like, it's an 8-minute long sex scene. It's like, again, why? Don't get me wrong. I remember watching initially, like, this is romantic. It's a fantasy. I mean, I like to believe Def's not out there just, you know, becoming baby daddies to all these single women, but I mean, what do I know? I'm just a comedian.
Don't they go by in a blink? You're dead.
Yes?
You're not dead, you're just a kid in a suit.
The suit came with the body I took.
You want me to be your guide?
I wish to see the world.
Mr. Parrish, will the gentleman be staying for dinner, sir?
Yes.
If I say who you are, I don't think anyone will stay for dinner.
Does your friend have a name?
I'm sorry, this is Joe.
Incidentally, Joe what?
Black. Have we met?
He's from out of town.
Let me ask your opinion. Do I blend in?
This is crazy.
You're married, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Gay.
What is that?
Peanut butter, sir.
I thoroughly enjoy this peanut butter.
This is Joe Black. He'll be joining us this morning.
Our sole order of business today is an acceptance of John Bonacue's generous offer.
A little more of these delicious cookies. And a cup of tea with milk, please.
Is there anything else, Mr. Black?
You like him, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you.
Why, yes.
In this world, nothing is certain but death and taxes.
Death and taxes.
Yes.
What an odd pairing.
Who is Joe Black? He sleeps at Bill's house. He never leaves his side.
I have this weak feeling in my knee.
You walk into my life, give me the worst news a guy can get. You know, you're spooning with my daughter.
I love him.
I don't care if you love him.
Easy, Bill. You give yourself a heart attack and ruin my vacation.
Universal Pictures presents
I'm in love with a man, but I don't know who he is.
Brad Pitt,
What I know is what I want, and what I want is Susan.
You're violating the laws of the universe.
Anthony Hopkins,
You're at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong woman.
Are you threatening me?
Yeah, I certainly hope so.
and Claire Forlani
I want to be with you, Joe.
in a Martin Brest film.
The time has come to tell you who I am.
Joe, I'm afraid.
The plot of the movie, as well as the remake, is Def visits Bill Parrish, played by Anthony Hopkins, on the eve of his 65th birthday. He's like, hey, it's time to go, but before we go, I want you to sort of be my tour guide. He's just like, you had a rich life. Let me just shadow you for a couple of days. While doing that, he falls in love with his daughter, which is like the first woman he pretty much sees. Like, it's like, hey, we're in love and I love you. Let's bang. The remake is a lot different in this aspect because in the original, Def just kind of poofs into a human form meets a woman, falls in love, wants her to like come with him to die, and she does. Like that's the end of the original. This 23-year-old woman's like, hey, I love you so much where I ain't got to live the rest of my life. I want to be with you for the rest of my life in death and eternity. I don't know if it's heaven or hell, but hey, this is all you. She just throw it at him. In the remake, we are introduced to a charismatic Brad Pitt. Him and the daughter, they have like this very flirtatious interaction where they're smitten, and then he dies. He gets hit by 2 cars. Death takes his body, and then he is now Brad Pitt, which I don't blame him. It's late 90s Brad Pitt. He got the abs. I understand. They fall in love. He never ate peanut butter. Okay, like, not only did he never eat peanut butter, which is understandable, he didn't even understand what peanut butter was, which, like, I'm sure Death is aware of things. Like, I'm sure somebody died in the history of life from peanut butter, like a peanut allergy. And you mean to tell me Death don't know what peanut butter is? Like, we don't know if Death chose Brad Pitt because they had met in the diner. We don't know if it was insanely random. We don't know if Brad Pitt was supposed to live till he was 90, but Death was like, nah, bruh, I need that body. Toward the end, here's kind of where the emotional twist is. Death makes the right choice and decides to put his own happiness on the back burner and said, hey, I'm Deaf. He says it without really saying it. She sort of realizes it by him not saying it. We as the audience just sort of go with it. And then he kills her dad. Like, hey dad, let's go. I can only imagine the therapy sessions she is having today. Like, hey, I met Deaf and we banged and then we fell in love and then he killed my dad. And then, just to make matters worse, just to add a little cherry on top, the dude that I fell in love with, or the dude that I was smitten in the diner, Death returns him to me. And this Brad Pitt has no idea he died. He has no idea any of these things that happened. And she's left to deal with that and live with that for the rest of her life. So, interesting movie, definitely worth seeing. But so much more intriguing to watch it 10 to 20 years later. So, look, have you seen the movie Meet Joe Black? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Have you seen it recently? I don't know what I gave it initially when I first saw it, but I'm going to go with a B+. I still think it's worth your time, especially if you got 3 hours and you want to see a 90s movie that did fairly well at the box office, that had some great acting, performances. The soundtrack is really amazing. Check it out. Let me know what you think. That's my movie review. I'll be back next time. Peace!